Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Monthly Reset Podcast. I'm Bobby Shortle, and I'm here with Justin Townsend.
Hello.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We are back. The thing about doing what we've been doing over the last couple of weeks, this is a video game podcast, by the way. We talk about video games. We haven't done one in about a month and a half. Is every time, literally every time we stream or I stream or I record or we do this, it's literally a different layout and setup than the one before. Never is it the same thing twice in a row. So it becomes like a dance every time I have to sit down to figure out what the hell is going on. So there you go.
It happens.
It happens for sure.
To us frequently.
Yes. If you guys are in chat, please let us know how the levels are, how am I compared to Justin, and so on, and I can adjust accordingly as we go, so we don't get messed up on that one. So Justin, I mean, I feel like we haven't recorded a podcast in a while. I'm opening my water. We haven't recorded a podcast in a while, but we have been doing this just about every night for the last week. So I feel like we're very much in our element right now.
Yes, we are. Me sitting in this very uncomfortable chair in front of this new setup I have, I've become very comfortable here.
Mm-hmm.
While being uncomfortable.
Can you do me one favor, Justin, on your end there? Can you turn down like the gain on your actual microphone? Like, on the actual mic there, just a little bit? Because you seem to be peaking a little bit for me.
How's that?
That's better. I mean, you might be a little talk.
I got a lot of things to say about video games tonight, so
perfect. It's perfect now. Okay, cool. We both sound lovely. Thank you, Hugh. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So I mean, we've been playing games, but I would say that a lot of the games we've been playing have either been on stream or they've been, games we've talked about a lot before. So, but we will go over some games we've been playing, and then we'll dive into, I think, what's been going on and everything. There's some news to talk about and stuff, but I mean, the way we do this show, if people, it's the first time you're listening or watching, is that we do it monthly. So really being like all about video game news is not really our core competency, I would say, because things are going to come by and pass by as all over the place as we take the breaks in between the show. So we're mostly going to talk about games we've been playing and stuff that we've been doing and just general stuff. So let's start out, Justin, with some stuff that has been going on. Some games we've been playing. Since when we did the last podcast, you had just played a very little bit, I think, of Doom.
Correct.
Had there been other games you finished since we finished the last podcast? Yes. Okay, so tell me how, when we talked about Doom a month or so ago, you said this is a mediocre video game, and you weren't sure if you were going to get into it. How do you feel about it now that you're done with it?
It definitely, the more I played that game, the more I ended up enjoying it, and my time away from it has put a bit of a shine on it, I'll say.
Okay.
The combat in it,
Excuse me.
It forces you to play the game on its merits. Doom forces you to play the game by its rule set. You can't play it like other shooters. And for a while, that was taking me a long time to get used to. And especially because I was playing on, I think it was like Ultra Violence, which was a harder difficulty. I was having some serious trouble because I had never really finished Doom 2016, and because I needed to train my brain to do what the game wanted me to do.
Right.
It was taking me a long time to beat some of these levels.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually turned down Ultra Violence to just whatever the normal difficulty was, and when I did that, the combat became more forgiving, and it became easier for me.
Well, yeah, I think so.
And yes, but I think a lot of that has to also do with I started unlocking a lot of abilities, and I would like to have gone back. Maybe one day I'll go back and I'll try that game again on Ultra Violence, knowing what abilities I'm going to be having.
Mm-hmm.
But towards the middle of that game, towards the middle to end of that game, you become like a walking powerhouse, especially on normal. again, the game makes you do what it wants to do. So you're constantly lighting enemies on fire for armor and then glory punching them for ammo, or health, and then doing glory kills to get health. And just, it's this like cycle over and over again. There are moments where I felt it was a little bit monotonous, but then other moments, like when you're in those, what do they call them? Slayer gates, which are like these preset combat arenas that you need to clear out for, there's 6 of them. You got to clear all of them out for like a special weapon. When you're doing those and they're hard and there's like so many enemies on screen, you don't know what to do. And you're just like flying around the arena using this like terrific momentum, and then you're punching this person and you're shooting a grenade at this person, you're slowing down time. When I got the super shotgun, I felt the game like just come to me more. So this shotgun is just like basically like a single fire burst. But what's cool is the game has these challenges for the guns, which is always like a thing I love in games, is like when you get a gun and it's like kill X amount of enemies this way with this gun. And it unlocks a secondary ability, which was this hook. So you could literally, I don't know if it was like this in the first game. I don't know if I ever got the super shotgun in the first game. But
yeah, there's a super shotgun.
You see this?
Game, I think so. But it might be different. It might function differently though in this game.
So you would get the shotgun and you would hit, I forget whatever the secondary one was, like L2 or whatever. And there would be a hook that would come out of the shotgun attached to an enemy. And that chain would be on fire. And fire would drops armor off enemies. So you'll be pulling yourself towards this enemy. He's already on fire and dropping armor, and you are just one-shotting them as you get in close with this shotgun. And I thought that was like one of the coolest weapons I've used in a game in a long time. The game's just over long. It's so long. It's like a 30-hour campaign for a shooter, which is fine, I think, if they would have just broken the levels up a bit more. They are big arenas.
Yeah.
So, I could be sitting down and not beating an arena, and I'm flying through it. I'm not dying, but it's taking me an hour and a half to get through.
Yeah.
So you eventually hit the point of no return, which, when you see that, you're like, okay, I've got a level left probably. And then the final boss, I had like 4 hours to go still. And it was just like a nonstop gauntlet. I was like, I'm doing this all basically in one burst, just trying to finish this thing.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I enjoyed it way more than I was when I first talked about it.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in the story. Not like a single damn thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's been a complaint about the game, is like Doom 2016 was very, cheeky with its story, like not really caring very much about lore, but they set up a couple of things, and this doesn't really take place like right after that. It seems like some passage of time has occurred, and now the Doom guy is in a floating castle, and it's like, if you care about where the Doom guy came from, this will answer that. If you care about why in the Doom 2016 you woke up in a coffin and coming back from hell, it'll tell you that. Story I didn't care about. I thought the gameplay was really good. I enjoyed hunting for the secrets. I will say that they completely screw the pooch on backtracking. Like at the end of a level, you can fast travel to any point, like a couple of different points in the level, beginning, like basically a quarter through the level every time. There'll be like a checkpoint you could fast travel to after you're right at the gate to move to the next one. So at any point in the Slayer Castle, you can revisit older levels to get collectibles that you missed, except they don't let you fast travel when you go back. You literally have to play the entire level all over again.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I ended up doing all of the collectibles and getting all of that. But it was a pain. So what I would do is I just dropped it to the easiest difficulty and just started flying through the level as fast as I could. You have all your abilities, so the beginning levels are a piece of cake. But yeah, like I enjoyed it. I thought the music was really good. Like I said, the combat is, once you agree to play by its rules, it's really engaging and fun, but it takes a little bit to get used to it.
Right. Yeah. I played a little bit more, but I haven't finished it. Since we talked last time, I literally have been mostly only playing things that we are streaming or or the multiplayer shooter that we play whatever night that we actually play a video game together.
Yeah.
I played a little bit more. I played a couple more levels in, and I definitely started getting more of a feel for it. I think the game just throws too much at you too fast. I don't think it has a good ramp into the amount of abilities you have. I mean, by the time you're like an hour into that game, you've got a grenade, the flame belch, you've got 2 weapons that both have 2 different fire types, and you have that like system of like the ammo, the armor, and the health like things, and you have to balance all that, and they're throwing like really hard enemies at you like almost immediately. And I feel like the first game definitely like kind of eased you into the abilities a little bit better.
And that's not even half of it. I mean, then there's also relics for you to equip and upgrades for exploration and these tokens that you find. And like you said, with the armor, that's one thing I do want to mention. These weak points on enemies are crucial. There are some enemies that will wreck you unless you very quickly take out these weak points on them, whether they be cannons on their back or cannons on their arms. And you can pick and choose some of these weapons, their secondary ability. But if you choose the wrong one, like I did in the beginning, like I chose a grenade launcher over like a sniper shot, it becomes very difficult because you don't have that ability to aim super well.
Right.
So I'm trying to shoot a sticky grenade on a very, very, very small target on the back of this guy's back as he's skittering around with hundreds of enemies around him, it feels like. So once I was able to like go back to one of the upgrade trees and find like another token to spend and was able to buy like the sniper shot, it made all the difference in the world. But
sure, yeah.
You could really back yourself into a corner if you don't have the right weapons.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. So and also it's definitely longer than Doom 2016. I think Doom 2016 was like 15 hours long. I think.
Yeah, it's a long game.
The thing I've taken away from the amount I've played is just that I think that they've done the thing that I think a lot of games end up doing when they go sequel, which is that the stuff that people really liked about the first game, and I think it's still there in many spaces, but I think especially in the story and sort of like tone department, they sort of misunderstood, I think, the things that people really liked about the original game, and they went a little bit more like Duke Nukem-ish with like the tone of everything that was going on, whereas the first game was good because it didn't seem like the character was in on the joke, or it wasn't a joke to the main character, and that made it funnier, and it was definitely more of a subtle sense of humor. And this one, I think it's like, no, we're going to be funny now because people think the first game is funny. So, and I don't think they pull it off particularly well when it comes to that stuff.
That game's not funny at all.
No. But like you said, the combat is still great and it moves so fast. And once I think you start to get the feeling down, it is a pretty dynamic game to play. So that's pretty cool. What else have you been playing, Justin? What else did you play, I guess? Because I know what you're playing now.
What else have I played? I have I think 2 main things. Like I've dipped my toes into a couple of different indie things here and there. I started this game called Snaky Bus and completed it by the next morning.
Yeah.
Because I love Snake. That was like a fun little thing to get a platinum trophy in. The main thing I've been digging my teeth into is I got into the Valorant beta, and we have a question about this later about backlogs from Andy, which we'll get to. But I took a look at mine and was like, what's something that I could play that maybe I just haven't gotten around to yet? And I was a big fan of the original Guacamelee, and so I picked that up. Or I picked it up, the sequel, when it came out, and played about 10 minutes and then never played it again because I just wasn't in the right mood for it. So apparently I was in the mood for it this time because I just finished run 1. I'm missing all but 1 trophy in it, and I have to beat the game on hard. Guacamelee was known for, it's like a Metroidvania where you play as a luchador. It's got great music. The first game has great music. This one does as well.
Okay.
And they kind of like blew this one out a little bit more. The first game had really, you could beat the game, but there's these optional challenges where it's combat challenge or it's a like a platforming challenge. And the platforming challenges I remember being brutal. And I was like, oh, there's no way that I'm doing it this time. But I did them, of course. Basically the platforming ones this time, like there were a couple of regular ones while you're playing the main dude, the luchador, but you could also turn into a chicken in this game, which you could
Okay.
do in the first game.
Okay.
But the hardest of the platforming ones were these ones where you're a chicken and what's cool about Guacamelee is you're like cutting between the living world and the dead world, and you can do that on a button. So they do interesting things with where platforms or where, um, energy beams and balls and enemies coming at you. Some of them will be alive and some of them will be like undead or in the dead world. And so like you're constantly having to flip between them. So with the platforming, it's like, okay, I need to drop on this platform, but if I drop on the platform, those energy balls that were flying at me which would pass through me in one world will kill me in one shot in another. So you're constantly having to keep track of like flipping between worlds and what abilities you're using. It's a super fun game. I just finished it last night, and now I might start it again on hard just to try and get the platinum.
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
decided if I'm going to do that yet, though, or not.
Okay. All right. And I think, well, last time we talked, you had already finished Kentucky Route Zero and hadn't loved it and hadn't really liked it that much. And I think you had already given up an Undertale by the time we talked last time.
Yeah, Kelsey wasn't happy about that.
No, Kelsey was not happy about that. So I think other than that, we both maxed out the Apex Battle Pass.
We did,
which is the first Battle Pass that I've bought with my money that I have actually finished. So I'm happy about that. We've now played a lot of the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't think we've ever played a season more than this last one in any of the Battle Royales we played.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
110's a high number to get to.
Yeah, 110 is a very high number to get to. And they just released that trailer for the teaser, I guess, for that new character.
Yeah.
Who is in the last character that they brought in, Revenant, his backstory, his tales from the Outlands or whatever, you see him killing a man as an assassin and leaving his daughter behind. And so this is his daughter kind of grown up and coming for him. She's a master thief and she's been looking for him and she's coming to find him now in the games, I guess. We don't know yet if we're getting a new map. If I guess if you counted the way they did the stuff with Kings Canyon, it would have been Kings Canyon, then Kings Canyon Season 1, then Kings Canyon Season 2, and then World's Edge. So we could very well get one more season of World's Edge before they introduce a new map into the equation. But we don't know yet. They have just teased it, so we don't even know what's coming out. We don't know anything about her other than that she's a thief. So I'm interested to see if there's like some stealth abilities involved, some like sort of being able to sneak up on people a little better or something like that. Always exciting. I mean, the fact that they introduced, since we podcasted, right? The duos is new since we podcasted.
Duos is definitely new.
And map rotation is new. For me, both of them have sort of made the game more enjoyable again. I've kind of reinvigorated the game a little bit. Duos especially, because Justin and I end up, we have a group of people we play with, but it's either I feel like it's either for us, it's either like we have one too many people or one too few people, for the game.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah. So to be able to have a 2-person squad is great. And I always love duos in the Battle Royale games because it's easier to manage in my brain, like where everything is, what's going on.
Totally. When going back to trios now, like throws my brain off because it's like, cool, we killed 2 of them and I constantly keep forgetting about the third. I will say Apex, I think, is doing a really good job. Hey, Megs, of the way that they introduce their characters and like their lore building for a Battle Royale is really good. And I think it's something that Overwatch could pay attention to. Like Overwatch does really cool videos for characters when they come out, but there's no like real mystique around them. Like with this character coming out today, what's her name again? Loba, right?
Lobo, yeah.
Loba.
Okay.
One of the 2 of those. But anyway, like,
well, it's probably Loba, I would guess, because that would be the feminine, right? Lobo would be masculine. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lobo also has a big hook. Anyway, that's another podcast. Yeah. But like in the background of the game today, people noticed like this character was like stalking around behind the flags.
Yeah.
Of like where you pick your characters, and it's like, when Revenant was coming, or when the map change was coming for World's Edge, like you could look up in the sky and see something coming down. Like it took a long time to come down, like 3 weeks or whatever, but you could look up and see something like, what the hell is that? And they did their whole fake out with the other character that they were going to bring in with
Yeah.
Revenant.
Yeah.
So they're doing a really good job of building up hype and excitement for their character releases. Like it's cool. Like for a battle royale, they're doing a really good job of building like a lore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they are consistently, I think, kind of like, because what Overwatch, I mean, Overwatch, those little movies are fantastic, right? They look great. They always have they're always really well made. But Apex does a good job of bringing the things that happen in those movies they make and the character and stuff for the characters into the actual like world that's happening. So like that like Wraith area in Kings Canyon where you go through that portal and you're underneath that thing and there's like a lab and it's a lab where she was being tested and you can like hear an audio log of like what happened to her and stuff like that. That kind of stuff I think is really cool because it brings that story into it and it makes me go like, I hope if they do a Titanfall 3,
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that this like kind of mythology they've been building for the shared world is part of it in some way. You know what I mean? Even if it's just like you gotta do a level through the Apex games, in one of the missions or something like that. But I think they've done such a good job of doing that, and it's so obvious how good they are at this stuff, right? At storytelling, at world building. I think that Blizzard is very good at it in an abstract sense where they're like, okay, we can hire people to come in and make like and write these really good like contained movies, right? But I don't have like a tremendous amount of faith in the fact that like the scripting and the stuff in the campaign for Overwatch 2 is going to be like amazing, right?
And Overwatch sort of did it. Like Hugh in the chat right now brought up Doomfist. And he's saying like the problem is like a lot of these characters were known about in the lore before we ever knew that they were going to be playable.
Yeah.
But like one thing that they did was right before it takes them too long to release characters, which is fine. Like that's the way they do things.
Yeah.
But like when Doomfist was being released, one of the maps, I forget the name of the map right now. It's escaping me. But like in the starting area, you saw one of the robots that were like hanging around in that area and then a giant crater in the wall and the robot is punched into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the type of stuff that I'm talking about that Apex seems to be really grabbing onto right now that I think other games where you're constantly doing battle passes and season passes,
Mm-hmm.
like it's kind of like the build up to that. Like, oh, wow, this is awesome. They've changed something in the level to signify that there's going to be a new character coming or a change coming or something to do with the lore. Like that's the type of stuff I want to see more of.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that,
Nubani.
Yeah. And I think that's, there's also a difference, right? Like, I think that it seems like Warzone is sort of doing that right now. There's like these key cards that people don't know what they do. And there's like laptops that they turn on, but they don't understand what's going on. But because that's not a character-based game, I don't think it has as much impact, because it's going to be, all it's going to be is purely like aesthetical and, functional for whatever the new, like whatever they're going to do to Warzone, to change up the map or do whatever. And that'll be great. Don't get me wrong. I'm totally cool to see what they do with that kind of stuff. But it's also the same thing with like Fortnite, which Fortnite is great. Like Fortnite is like the king, right? At like creating these immersive and interesting experiences for people in their world and keeping things crazy and lively and always changing.
You're like having amazing looking visual concerts in your game.
Yeah, exactly. But again, also not a character based thing, right? There's no like Fortnite lore out. I mean, I'm sure there is, but I'm like, there's not a character in a world that's building that the Apex that exists. Like Fortnite doesn't exist within a larger world where there's other stuff going on and people are coming into the Fortnite world, onto the island to fight. And that's what's so cool about Apex to me is you get the sense of like, yeah, you're in these arenas, but there's a world outside of the arenas that's coming from it. And in this latest tease, they're talking about in one of the notes, they talk about like how combatants go crazy, so they're insane after they're revived too many times, like in like the games. And it's just interesting to put like a little bit of like a lore bit in there, about like how do people keep coming back? Like, how do these characters, they're supposed to be characters, but they die every day.
That's cool. I didn't actually hear that or see that yet. That's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
cool. Yeah. I mean,
Speaking,
I'm also waiting for the day that they drop Titans into a map one day, even if
I
they're just
can't
like,
wait.
even if they're just like there, you know what I mean? Or I would love there to be an area that was like that area where that was like the fabricating thing in Titanfall 2, where they're making they show you how they make like the levels and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's very, very cool. Yeah, it's one of those things where with Apex for me, it's become the game where I'm not thinking about it all day. I'm not like, I can't wait. I can't wait to get in there. But like, it's the game. I'm like, I want to play something. Yeah, I want to play Apex. Like that's where that game is for me right now. Which means I'm sure there will be a game. A game will come along that is that game that's like, I just want to play it. I'm thinking about it all day, and we'll stop playing Apex. But for right now, it's kind of the one for me. That's sort of like the place that I go.
So I have got that game on my list right now.
And what is that game?
So I've gotten into Valorant.
Oh, Valorant. Yes.
Speaking
Yes.
of our character-based shooters,
Yes.
so I was one of the lucky few that got into the Valorant beta.
Or everybody that we know except for me.
Yes, also that. Bobby is the only person in our group of friends who did not get into this thing. Well, I got in like super early. I got in like day one, but then I didn't play it for a week because I have been trying to build a PC station. And so I've been buying a desk and a monitor and Wi-Fi antennas and trying to make it so I could actually play this game, and maybe be okay at it. So Valorant is Riot, Csgo Overwatch, which is a very I feel like that is going to become a like Metroidvania type term. We've been playing a lot of it, and I've never played CS:GO, and I don't play PC shooters, but of course it's a character based ability game with guns, so of course I want to try it, and it's got a colorful look to it, and so we got in, we played a couple of matches, and struggling, getting better every time we play at using WASD to move and a mouse to aim. But I'm trying really hard, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. And so, yeah, it's that game for me right now where I'm thinking about it a lot, and I'm thinking about, well, how could I get better, and which character do I want to try next? Like I found a character, Raze, that I really like. She has a lot of abilities that try to kind of give her an out, I'll say. Like my shooting's not that good, but I could throw like a stick of dynamite, and I could put down a mine and have a little robot that'll come out and seek people. And like very good players don't get fooled by that stuff. But every now and then I come across people who are just like me. And so I'm able to kill them with it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's unforgiving in a way. Like I actually did my first PC stream the other night. Once we got all technical issues aside, it went really well. My friend Mark jumped in and we played together for about maybe an hour and 40 minutes. And I got to do some cool things on stream and look awesome. And then other times I walked around the corner and died before I know who shot me, because that's that game. It's really hard. And for people who have played CS:GO, like that's no surprise. Like that's what they're really trying to mimic. And I'll say a lot of the abilities in that game are not like Overwatch abilities where they are meant to kill people. Like, yeah, I have a couple of abilities that could kill people, but a lot of the characters have just like area of denial abilities where it's like you're putting down smoke, or you're putting down a poison wall, or you're putting down a firewall to like block off an area. And the main objective in the game is not like team deathmatch or anything like that. Like you're trying to place a bomb in the other team's it's not one, it's either 2 or 3 areas, and have the bomb detonate. So that there's offense and defense. First to 13 rounds wins. So we've had games end like 13-3, and we've had games go to the 25th game. And those ones are long matches. Like we're talking about an hour long. But it gives you a little bit of time to like get into the feel. So yeah, sometimes when we're only playing like 3 games a night, if that. But it's enjoyable. It's making me want to build a PC, which I now have 2 monitors in front of me. It's like I don't even recognize myself. So yeah, like super enjoying it. And I need Bobby to get into this thing so he can come play with me.
Yeah, I'll be playing it every night if I could get into it. I've only watched, 90 hours of streams to try to get into it. So Hugh says the learning curve is steep, and it is steep.
It is very
steep. Yeah, definitely. One of my lights went out, but it's okay. um, yeah, I'm looking forward. I played the one night with you guys. I used I think Cody's account to play, and and so now I have to just wait till I get in to play a little bit more of it. I started Final Fantasy VII. I'm playing with my wife, so we're going slowly through it because she doesn't want to play every night. So and I'm enjoying it so far. Music is amazing, and the looks like spectacular. It's just a spectacular looking video game. Really really insane how good it looks. But other than that, it's been stuff I've been playing for for stream or for content, I would say, is really mostly what it's been. I when we talked last time, I was literally, I hadn't even like announced that I was doing the FMV thing. So doing this thing called FMV Agent, which is a YouTube channel dedicated like purely to playing FMV games. And I'm trying to like figure out, I would really like to stream my recordings from our Twitch channel. We're here at twitch.tv/monthly reset. It's just that because it's both my lights just went out. Hold on a second.
You are in the dark. That was something. Bobby's just clouded in darkness now. That's the issue doing a podcast live, but that's okay. Yeah, so Bobby's doing FMB Agent, which is a neat thing to say because he loves FMB games. Me, not so much, but Bobby loves them.
Hey, I'm back. Okay.
And he's back.
So yeah. I had mentioned, I think, to Kelsey that I was playing a game called Simulacra. What did you say, Justin?
Said. That's what Kelsey said.
What she said?
Oh, it sounds so cute. Didn't Kelsey say like, oh, it sounds so cute?
Yeah. I was like, oh, this game where you find a girl's lost phone. Oh, it sounds so cute. I was like, she's dead, Kelsey. Oh, thank you, Max. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. So yeah. I played. So yeah, I've been doing this full motion video thing. I want to stream them. The only issue is that like I record like I usually record like a chunk at a time, and then I release them separately. And also I usually record during the day, and so I kind of have to be like free to like have to get up and go to do something in between. But I'm gonna try doing it once with the new game. The next game I play, I'm gonna start from the beginning and try to stream it as I go. But I finished Simulacra. That game was cool. It's like a phone interface game, and you're trying to figure out what happened to this girl. You don't the phone got like left on your doorstep or whatever. It was a cool game. It was neat to try to figure out like the mystery of it, but it was like basically a phone interface and then like FMV when you were looking at like pictures or like the videos that were left on the phone. So it wasn't like a full on like FMV everywhere thing. If people don't know if FMV, it's full motion video. It means basically real filmed people are like a major part of the game experience that you're having. You think back in the day to games like Night Trap and stuff like that, where it was kind of corny and badly produced, and it's come a long way since then. And the game I'm playing right now is called The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, which this is like full on FMV stuff where you're this therapist, Dr. Decker, has been murdered, and they suspect one of his patients. So you are the new therapist, and your job is to help the patients, but also to try to figure out if any of them killed this doctor. And it's got like a big range of class of characters, and it's basically based on you ask them questions, they answer, and you try to like kind of pick out things that they say in their answers and use them to ask more questions and dig deeper. It's got a pretty generous hint system and stuff like that. And I'm getting close to the end. I'm like 75%, 80% through the game. So I think I just got to Act 5. So I think I'm probably on the last act of the game at this point. And things are starting to ramp up and go towards it. I have my suspects, people I think might have done it. It's a cool game. It's like it's actually really good acting in it. I mean, the game is like visually like as far as like the set, very simple. It's basically just like a therapist couch, and the sort of patients kind of come in and out of the therapist couch and you ask them questions. But the acting has been really good. I think it's actually managed to be at least somewhat sensitive to like the mental health aspect of the subject matter, which is always like a thing that is tough when it comes to games that deal with, or any media that deals with mental illness. But it's, I think, doing a good job of that, and I'm really enjoying it. It's been interesting because I played it over the span. It's like a 15-hour game, and normally I would have beaten it in a week, but I've been playing it over the span of 3 weeks. And so there are definitely things like that I'm doing, like where like you have to remember stuff from like, so you have multiple days inside the game that people are coming in for their sessions. Okay. And you have to remember things like, oh, like she said she talked about going for a drink today. Didn't the other day she say she doesn't drink? Which would be totally fine if you were playing it like a normal human being. But when you're playing it so spread out for like an hour at a time, like I would be like, oh God, I don't even remember that she said that at this point, Yeah. So it definitely made me, I'm definitely learning things, which is that I need to probably, for games like this, which are mystery based games, and a lot of these FMV games are going to be mystery based type experiences, I need to have like a pad of paper in front of me or something so I can take some just like quick notes about like, okay, they said this, like they said that, they said this, because I'm forgetting some stuff. But like I said, the pretty generous hint system that is in there. So by default, it's set up to be like 90 seconds between when you can do hints. And I like, because of just the fact that I'm streaming it or recording it, and I just want to be able to ask the hints quickly, I knocked it all the way down to like 10 seconds or 15 seconds in between when I can ask for hints. But they basically just kind of give you like a, like a, hey, why don't you ask them this? And then you also have like a notebook that gets like filled in as you're going, like an in-game notebook that will be like, oh, this thing just got talked about, why don't you ask about this? Or you have like a set of like evidence that you have that is piling up as you go. I'm really liking it quite a bit. Oh yeah. The Welsh Interactive, which is the publisher of the book, publisher of the game, publishes a ton of FMV stuff, like a ton of FMV stuff. They're like a FMV powerhouse, and it's like a few miles away from Hugh's house. That's what he just said in the chat. So it's cool. Yeah, they have like a 6 or 7 FMV games, and they have more coming. So it's been fun. It's been a very different experience. Like Simulacra took a week for me to play because it's very, very short. It's like 3 hours long. This is like a kind of like a normal story game length. And it's definitely been an interesting experience to go back and play through it in that way. Late Shift was cool, Hugh. That was the first time I had heard of them. I don't know if that was their first release, but that was a cool thing. That was like a story of like a guy who worked at the parking garage, and he got like caught up in like a criminal like underbelly thing because like they wanted to steal a car from his lot or whatever. So cool. It's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm gonna put up a poll. I think probably tomorrow I'm going to put up a poll for whatever the next game is going to be, because I think after I play tomorrow's session, I think I'm going to be done. So I'm gonna put up a poll and see what people want me to play. It's a couple of cool things. I want to get back to Telling Lies, which is I only played like a little bit with my wife, and then we kind of fell off of it, and I want to restart it. It's the game from Sam Barlow, who made Her Story. It's a game that came out last year. It's got like like real actors in it and stuff. It's like pretty interesting, cool thing. And then there's a couple other games too I'm gonna put on that poll. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I hope everybody will check it out. If they search for FMV Agent on YouTube, just subscribe to the channel and make sure you hit the alert button so you get notified when things come out. So that's what I've been doing over there. And the other game I've been playing a lot of is Bloodborne. This little game, this little new video game from this developer. Called From Software. I don't know if anybody's heard of it.
I think they're going to make it.
I think they're going to make it.
I think they're going to make it.
I'm trying to remember, was Bloodborne out the first year we were doing talking games, or did it come out the second year?
Second year we were doing talking games.
All right, because 2014 was the first year. Yeah. That was Destiny, right?
Mm-hmm. We just passed our 6-year anniversary of the first talking game show.
That's right. So that would have been the second year. But yeah, I literally picked up my save it was really close, like 5 years after I had played the game the last time. And we've done, I think, 4. We did like 4 in a test stream. So we've done like 5 like kind of like sessions with it. Yeah, we're moving through it, man. We're booking through it.
We really are. You're doing a great job. We had a 2.5-hour stream last night. Definitely the most productive stream we've had. Had
Yes.
a bunch of new people in the chat. We had I lost track of how many comments we had. I felt like we had like a 200 something comments,
We had a lot.
300
Yeah.
something comments, helping Bobby along, making me feel better at myself for not being able to beat bosses that Bobby's beating on the first try. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Yeah. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. And I've been playing like in between streams. I usually will play like a few hours here and there, like just to like farm some blood vials and some resources, just to make sure that like I'm not running out of blood vials or something in during a stream. I gotta move this mouse away from my hand because I keep hitting it. So I'm not doing that during a stream because it's just like there's nothing that's more of like a pain in the ass to like run out of that stuff, and then it's not interesting for me to go like to two areas that you've seen a million times and go over them again.
You know what though? People freaking love watching people play Bloodborne.
It's true. It's very true.
So I think you should start streaming those out, because
I'm going to. I think I'm going to.
Streams where you're just like, yeah, I'm farming, but we can talk about stuff, and it's like very laid back and relaxed. And people just freaking love Bloodborne.
It's true. They do. People do love Bloodborne. I'm probably gonna do that. I might just do that straight from the PS4, so that way I can just like sit on the couch and have the headset on and do it that way. But yeah, it's been fun, and I I've been other thing about this time around is I've been really getting into like the like lore story aspect of it.
I have to watch that video you sent me. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, that guy, I can never pronounce his name. It's like Vadaya or something. Like he does like he's got like 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He does like he's been doing Soulsborne stuff for forever. He's got like great story explainers. He's also got this lore hunting video where he talks like all about like just like the origins of like the Healing Church and what it is and who this character is and who this character is. So I learned last time I'm watching this video because I'm on medication that is effing up my sleep big time. So I had to find something to do late at night. So I'm watching these set of videos, and one of them is this lore hunting one where he talks about the origins of the church and and talks about like why the people have gone crazy and what's going on. And it's all very in depth. It's cool, but it's like, so that sword I have, that Ludwig's Holy Blade.
Yeah.
Like he was the like first hunter. He was like the first like the head of the Healing Church. And he turned into the cleric beast.
Okay.
Yeah, which I did not know that at all.
I love games that have really cool lore, like stuff like that, like Destiny. Destiny has a really great backstory that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Unless you like seek out like My Name is Bife and like watch those hour and a half long videos on the history of Destiny before the first game, and that almost it helps because he has a soothing voice, but B, like, it has a really great backstory. And so like that's cool. Like that makes me want to learn more about Bloodborne.
Yeah. And like
hot new release.
The reason that you walk through the town and some of the people have like the looks like the hunters' hats and the hunters' garb on, not the actual hunters, but like some of the enemies, the regular enemies, is because when they used to go out on the hunts before everything fell, like regular people used to go out with the hunters as like support to try to to back them up so that they would that they could help kind of turn the tide on this like incoming surge of beasthood. But it was actually the blood the Healing Church was using to heal everything that was turning the people into beasts, and they knew it. So they were like trying to like basically turn the people's attention away from the church onto the beasts to like keep themselves safe or whatever. It's just really interesting. People should watch the videos because they're really, really cool. The other one was like he has another set of videos for almost every Soulsborne game, but they're called Prepare to Cry, and they're like explaining stories of little like side characters in the games. So he has one on Father Gascoigne. He has one on like the guy who sits up of the machine gun guy in Old Yarnum. He has like one on that like crow, the woman, the crow who like you help fight and then she ends up fighting you, like that woman. And there's one other one too. I can't remember the other person that he does the thing on, but they're very interesting because you learn stuff about the lore and the characters. There's stuff, the Gascoigne one, I was like, man, I didn't know any of this stuff. I did not He has a daughter. He has two
I
daughters.
knew he had children.
He,
That's why
he
the music box works.
Yeah, but he like they're looking if you go to their like they're one of the windows you can go to and talk to them,
Mhm.
and then like you find him, you can find his she's also her mother is also missing, and you find out Gascoigne killed the mother, and if you like go back to the window and tell the little girl no one's coming, she should go to the chapel. She never makes it to the chapel, and if you like retrace her steps, you like and you get to that giant like pig that's underneath the like the sewers, and you kill the pig. After you did that, he'll drop like a little girl's necklace because he ate the little girl.
Okay.
Yep. And then you go back to the window, and like the little girl's older sister is there, and she's like, "Do you know where my sister is? Why would she leave?" Like it's like, okay, this is really sad.
Uplifting material.
Yeah, yeah, but it's very, very good. Um, so I've been looking into that stuff, and like it's funny because like all the stuff and he like sources like where he's getting his stuff from, it's like all item description stuff. So item description stuff and like reading the books and the notes like that are spread throughout the game. So it's really fascinating, and like there's like a story thing with the Chalice dungeons, like that's like where they found the blood originally, was this like labyrinth underneath of Yarnum and all this stuff. It's a really interesting like lore when you actually watch, and that he does a great job. That like it's like 15 minutes long, that video, or 20 minutes long or something, that video, and it like explains everything. I stopped watching it like near the end because they started going like past where I am, and so I want to be, I don't want to get completely spoiled, but
Yeah.
not so much about story, just about like visual things that are going to happen that I don't want to see. But yeah, we went through Canehurst Castle, and we went to the we beat the Nightmare Frontier. We went to the Upper Cathedral Ward. We beat Canehurst Castle. We're on like the second, which is the last boss of the Upper Cathedral Ward right now, which is a very beautiful enemy that doesn't look disgusting at all. That isn't made of all mouth and tentacles.
Yeah.
Um,
She's a thick girl.
Stick girl,
Daughter
daughter
of
of
the
the
Cosmos.
Cosmos. Yeah.
Yeah. Good name though.
Yeah, very good name. So both of both the bosses in the Upper Cathedral Ward are optional, but then the two that are that we're gonna fight, and the last place I have to go is the Murgo's Loft place, which is where you get like frenzied constantly all the time. So
That place is fun.
I'm really looking forward to that.
You'll just shrug it off. You'll shrug it off and just get through it.
So yeah, but I'm really loving, like I'm loving going back to it, and like when I finish playing it, I'm just like, man, this is such a good video game. That's how I feel like every time that I finish playing it. So it's been great, and it's made me like go like, okay, like when I finish this, like maybe like Justin's gonna play Dark Souls 3 on stream after we finish Bloodborne. But I'm like, maybe I'll play like along with Justin, like off stream, like while he's going, because I have it on PC, but I haven't played it in a long time. So yeah, it's definitely reawakened my love for this stuff. But yeah, that's it for the games that I've been playing. What do we want to talk about what we've been doing though, Justin, right? And we got a bunch of questions too. Maybe we should get to some questions.
Let's get to some questions. So yeah. I'll ask the questions.
Okay. And anybody's in chat and wants to ask any questions to Justin and I, please throw them in the chat, and we'll throw them into the bucket for sure and talk about them.
So from our Discord, which Bobby, what is our Discord server? Do you know off the top of your head how to get in?
Yeah, that's like a very complicated link. I'll put it in the chat.
That's a very complicated link. We'll put it in the chat here if you want to come join us in the Discord, which has been very much alive lately.
Yes. Thank you, Animal Crossing.
Yeah, mostly because of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So our friend Alejandro, who's in the chat right now, hey buddy, he asks, so Assassin's Creed's trailer came out today for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but it was only a cinematic. Do these types of trailers get you hype, or do you prefer to wait for a gameplay trailer? And I will answer this, that, you know, it was nice to see, like, I'll watch cinematic trailers, and I thought the graphics on it were fantastic. But what I really want to see is I want to see gameplay. Like it's cool that it kind of lays out like who the main character is going to be, but like I want to see gameplay of that game very, very badly, which we'll actually see next week at the Xbox's event. But most of the time, cinematic trailers don't really do anything for me. It's all about that gameplay.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I mean, it depends on the game, I guess, for me. Like, let's say like a Last of Us or Uncharted cinematic trailer, that's fine. Like I don't want I should say the CG stuff is like not like my jam when it comes to these kind of trailers. Like I don't care about that. Like I would rather be in-game engine like cutscene footage or whatever. Like but if it was for like a game like Last of Us or Uncharted or a very story heavy experience, then or like Wolfenstein even, because like I know what the gameplay looks like in Wolfenstein. Then I'm all for like the like more story based like that kind of trailer. But something that's purely cinematic and CG like this, it just like it doesn't do it for me because I'm just like, okay, they made a very pretty movie, but like any company that has the means and funds can make something that looks great and put it out. I want, especially for a game like Assassin's Creed, especially with a lot of all the rumors and questions about what the game was going to be. Is it going to be multiplayer? Is it going to do this? Is it going to do that? Is it going to do this? I want to see that stuff. I want to hear the details, So like just knowing the game exists and it's Vikings, like just seeing that cinematic trailer doesn't really do anything for me.
It was definitely cool to see the hidden blade reveal.
Oh yes, that part was cool. Yes, that part was cool.
Next question. So Historic Me, our friend Andy, wants to know what games from your backlog are you currently playing? So I mentioned this question before because I had looked back at Guacamelee and beaten that one. Next up for me is probably going to be, I'm going to try that Need for Speed game that came out of, I forgot, Need for Speed Heat that came out a couple of months ago. And then after that, I'm like looking around on Game Pass to see what I want to play. Like I'm interested in playing Final Fantasy VII since I never played the original Final Fantasy VII.
Right.
So that's something that I'm going to be looking into. But yeah, like next is just, I don't know, Game Pass is pretty much going to be doing it for me right now. So I've queued up a couple of things on there that I'm looking at, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So like obviously Bloodborne is a big backlog game for me. A game I never beat that I want to get through, and really like I've been thinking about, and I think this sort of ties in as well to I forgot who asked this question about what streaming stuff is and content stuff is coming.
I'm saving that question for last.
Okay, but so I'll also I guess hold off on some of the stuff. I'm gonna I guess I'll answer it and we'll move into it later. But I'm gonna kind of like theme around. Kelsey said Justin forced me to come support my friends. Hi. We I want to force myself to finish some games that I've wanted to finish. I just haven't. So a lot of Bloodborne thing was honestly like, I love that people love watching me play Bloodborne, but that was not the impetus for me to stream it. It was, I've always wanted to beat this. I'm never going to sit down and beat it and get through it. Unless I'm kind of forced to, So that's what's great about that. So I'm very excited to finish playing that. I played just the first act of Kentucky Route Zero, and I want to go back and finish that. It's not that long, and I would like to finish that. So I did finish. I had like 45 minutes left in Wolfenstein 2 that I guess, and so I finished that the other day. There's some stuff like I look at like there's stuff I know I won't go back to. There's stuff I look at like Fire Emblem. I would love to go back and finish that game, but it's just, there's so much left of it.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm just never gonna sit down and play it. But I have a folder I can't open right now on my PlayStation where basically, because I got an external hard drive for my PlayStation, so I can download everything I want now. I basically create a folder called like Backlog, basically. Like these are games that I want to finish, that I haven't finished. So that's kind of my head is at when it comes to that stuff.
Next question from Megs. What is your favorite video game sequel? Mine is Mass Effect 2.
That's a good one. Mass Effect 2 is a good one. It's tough to disagree with Mass Effect 2. Let's see. I think I have an obvious one that's like my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, but
Hugh says Uncharted 2.
Uncharted 2, yes. Absolutely. Uncharted 2 is a good one. I mean, Portal 2 is the one for me. Portal 2 is like in my top 5 games of all time. So
I was actually thinking about replaying that not that long ago. Like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I should play Portal 2 again. It's been 8 years.
It's probably been 11 years, Justin.
Might be. No, Portal 2 is not that old.
2009.
Was it?
It came out. Yeah.
Oh wow, jeez,
It came out the same day as Mortal Kombat 9.
that's a memory for you.
Yep. So yeah, Portal 2 holds up. I played it a couple years ago. Again, it's just a fantastic video game.
I might do
As
that.
is the first one. And then the first one takes barely any time to play through. But Portal 2 is definitely the favorite. Some of the ones that like I'd say like I think like Halo 3 is my favorite Halo. So that's like a trequel, I guess, but it's a sequel. So I would say that one. Alejandro said the correct answer is Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is a genius, wonderful, brilliant game. I'm not going to argue with that at all. I will say this too. I think that Resistance 3 is the best Resistance game. I don't know. It's like not my favorite, but I'm just games. But I'm just saying like when I think about like sequels that are better than the other games in a franchise, that's one of the ones I think of.
Adventure Island 2, Mark. Okay. All right. Hugh wants to know, with the increasing trend in outright remakes of games as opposed to remaster, what would your dream remake be?
Remake. So like the Resident Evil 2,
The Resident Evil 2 treatment to a game.
yeah, or Shadow of Colossus.
Yeah.
Like a couple years ago, Shadow of Colossus. Oh, that's in their game on the backlog, by the way, that I'm thinking about playing is Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, what would a good remake be?
I mean, Mass Effect
I was thinking
1.
I was thinking remaster, and I was going to say, give me the Mass Effect series, but a remake of the Mass Effect series would be something.
A remake of Mass Effect 1 would be like spectacular. That would be something that I would love.
Oh, I have it. I have my answer.
Okay.
It's Mario 64.
Okay. Well, you're going to get your wish, I think.
I don't know if I'm going to get my wish. I don't know if that's going to be a remaster or a remake. I'm really hoping for a remake. Yeah, I'll never forget, like, in early Talking Games days, weeks, podcasts, I think it was actually Hugh who asked, what's a game you would like to see remastered? And I was like, even though it came out not that long ago, I'd love to see The Last of Us remastered for these consoles because I'd love to see how pretty they could make it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that podcast, Hugh texted me or jumped in on Twitch at the time and was just like, they just announced it. Or it was like a day later or something. So I'm hoping that lightning strikes twice and that we will get a Mario 64 remaster.
The difference between a remaster and a remake, Megs, is a remaster would be something like when they brought Last of Us from PS3 to PS4, or what they did with, let's say, like I think
basically any game released on PS4 that came out on PS3 is a remake, or I'm sorry, a remaster.
Yeah, or they just kind of like they
upscale it.
They upscale it, or they when they first let it, they first put it out, it was a lower resolution. They just they have the better resolution already on attack, or they remaster the way it looks, but it does not like a full on remake from the ground up. Like think Resident Evil 2, I think, is like the best. Resident Evil is actually probably the best way to classify this, which is there's a Resident Evil 1 game that they put out a couple years ago on PS4, which was a remaster of a GameCube game, right? And it's just literally the same game, except they just up-resed everything, right? But Resident Evil 2 is, if you look at the original Resident Evil 2 and the one that came out on PS4, like you can tell it's a totally new game. It's just a new game they built from the ground up.
That they kept a lot of the spirit of.
Yeah, which you don't have to do that. Yes, exactly. It is still that game, but it is completely, all the assets are generated new. Everything is new.
Cody, God, no. Remaster Destiny 1 on the PC. I don't even want to think about Destiny 1 on the PC. I don't want to think about Destiny. I don't want to think about Destiny 1 anymore, although the Vault of Glass is really good.
So this is like very on brand and obvious for me, but Metal Gear Solid, the first Metal Gear Solid.
That's a very on brand thing for you to say.
But also it just fits into like I think the PS1 stuff that's like kind of like was very groundbreaking at the time for the system. Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, they've done it Resident Evil 2. I'm sure there are other there are other games that come to mind for people, but like games like that I think are prime for it, because Final Fantasy 7 obviously, because visually they are hard to go back to now, and system-wise all the time they're hard to go back to because they were still figuring out 3D gameplay at the time. So bringing them forward and putting them on like current systems, I think would breathe new life in those games and give people a chance to experience what made those games special, while not having the barrier to entry that comes from just the technology problems that come from games coming out in the PlayStation era. of this stuff. That's really where I think that sort of N64 is a similar, a similar boat, is a place where you can take games that are really good ideas but were held back by their technical limitations, and do something great with them. So that is what I think, what I would say is where those remakes I would love to see. You guys are just talking about Destiny in the chat. You guys are just talking about Destiny.
Mark played a lot of Destiny 1. So that's what he's saying. All right. So our last question from One Dead Pixel. What's coming down the pipeline streaming wise, including FMV Agent? What's after Return to the Hunt? So I thought this would be a good time to talk about what we've been up to. Like, why out of nowhere did we just burst through the door with like, hey, guess what? We're streaming every night.
Yeah.
Even though that wasn't the plan. And I guess I'm going to talk just off the cuff here about some things I've been thinking about. So Bobby and I went out to dinner during the NFL playoffs. So I'll say it was December.
Yes, it was the Ravens game.
Yeah, it was the Ravens game. And we had a very nice dinner. And I think I've actually mentioned this before. But we sat and we talked for a while about like, what are we doing? Like, we had done talking games and we have tried a bunch of different things, and we have the monthly reset, and we left the monthly reset to go, work for Joe Blow for a little while. And then when that ended, we sort of had come back, but it like a bit of time had passed before doing podcasts. And it was like, do we want to keep doing this? Like, what do we want? Now, for me, I've tried to leave podcasting before and it just didn't stick because I enjoy talking about video games too much. I've said that before, but what I haven't said is that I've made way too many friends doing this. More than I can like name quickly. Bobby has probably become my closest friends. So the two of us talk every day for the last couple of years. Yes, Kelsey, you are definitely one of them. But we're going to play video games together every night. And so we decided like, okay, let's do this. Let's start streaming. Like we may as well just turn the camera on. It's what we're good at. So we wanted to do it. And that was in December. And then some things happened along the way. There was some sickness. There were some scheduling things that just like work and stuff. It didn't work out. And we did the Game of the Year podcast, and we were like, man, we just listened to it and we're like, we think this is good. And so we're going to keep doing it, and we're going to try and get on a schedule, and we're going to try and stream. And we had the plan then, and then again, it didn't work out. So guess what? Finally, it's working out for us. And so we're doing this just for us. I think in the past, we've come at this in a way where it was like, okay, not that we're ever going to try and make money on this, but we could set up a Patreon, and we could try and get some dollar bills through the door to help pay for production costs and things like that. And like, I'm not worrying about that right now. I'm doing this because I enjoy it, and I enjoy making friends. I enjoy looking at chat and seeing different groups of my friends interact in ways I never thought that they would.
Yeah, I know.
So, the current plan is for us to stream as many nights a week as we can. We'll definitely be streaming Mondays and Wednesdays for sure with Return to the Hunt. When that's over, since the question was what comes after, I'm going to play Dark Souls 3. What happens on the other nights is we'll stream whatever we feel like. There might be a night we don't do it, but we're gonna stream Apex. We're gonna stream Call of Duty. We're gonna stream Valorant. We're talking about streaming a bunch of different things. Remnant, which was our game of the year last year, is coming out with DLC soon. We're gonna stream the DLC with Andy, since that was our trio.
Definitely.
Your three dads will ride again. There's lots of other things that we're talking about doing. I have bought Hitman 2, and we've talked about doing a community thing with Hitman where people tell me in the chat, you have to beat this level using these items. I've seen that done before on other streams, and it looks like a lot of fun. We want to do that. Bobby and I have talked about playing through the Halo series.
Yeah, that's true.
We have Halo Infinite coming out next year. I've only played 4 once and 5 once. I played 1 through 3 a bunch of times, but we're talking about revisiting those and getting ready for Halo Infinite. There are a couple of other things that we have been talking about streaming that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Do you have any of them that you can think of?
We talked about when we talked our big discussion in December, we were trying to figure out like what are we going to play and why would we play it is another thing we're trying to think a little bit more about, now when we do stuff. I think that like, I think because when we started and kind of, right, our influence both is very Giant Bomb, right? Focused, like very influenced. That I was watching Giant Bomb before I watched anything on Twitch, right? I like that, and I still watch that way more than I watch like what I would say like is traditional streamers, right, on Twitch. And so we were coming out from a coverage model, right, where we were kind of like, okay, like there's a new game out, let's play like an hour of that new game, put it up as a video, and then move on, and I think that like that's not gonna be we realized that's not going to be our strength, right? That's not what we should be doing. We should be going like, okay, we're going to stream something. Why should we be streaming it, right? Why do we want to stream it? Why for us do we want to stream it? And why would it be entertaining for people to watch us stream it? I think like the Souls stuff, I think is an easy one because they're really fun to watch people play, for both like glory reasons and embarrassing reasons, right? And they also provide you with, you don't know what's going to happen, right, every time you play. So like like last night when we were streaming, and like I really thought the second run, I think, of that boss, when I brought the guy in, that I was going to take it down.
If you had taken him down, I would have screamed and walked out of the room.
Because I was down to like a very little health. The person I summoned died, but like I was like in perfect position. It was fine. Like I had blood vials left. I could take a couple hits. I would have been fine. And then she did some sort of attack that killed me in one shot, and I didn't even know where it came from.
And Nick had never seen that attack before.
So like that's a moment that's like, okay, like I could be angry about this, but like this is what these games are, and these is why these games are fun to play and why they're fun to play as performance, right? And I think that like that's really cool. The Hitman thing is like fun. Obviously you want to play the game, but also it's a fun performative video game, right? It's like, again, it's a Clockwork World. You can do crazy stuff. You're throwing in modifiers and stuff that make it fun, right? So like I think that's going to be a good thing. I think multiplayer stuff, that stuff is easy for us because like we play it a lot, and it can, again, every match of Apex is different than the match before, right? What I think is gonna be interesting is like when we get to big releases like The Last of Us 2, right, or Ghost of Tsushima, is one of us going to play through one of those entire games on stream? Is that how we're going to decide to play those games? And I don't know that yet. I don't know what Justin is thinking about that. I don't really know where I am with that. But it's something we're definitely thinking about, or I'm definitely thinking about. Like when Last of Us 2 comes out, maybe I'll just stream the whole thing. We also, it's interesting because like with two of us, it makes it easier because we have each other to rely on and each other to kind of keep us honest about like, if I'm not feeling it tonight, but the other person's like, hey, come on, we're going to stream tonight. Like it makes us kind of get up and do it. In all the other ways though, it also it can make it more difficult because now we have to worry about two people schedules at one time. So I think that there are definitely gonna be times, and you've seen the last couple of weeks because I had some health problems, Justin kind of like did some solo stuff while we were supposed to be doing a duo thing. And I think that will happen too. So it's going to be a little fluid in that way. There's stuff too, like I'm interested in doing like GTFO on stream. I think that could be really fun. This PC shooter is really intense team-based PC shooter.
I would love to build a Mario course with the community.
Oh yeah, like Mario Maker would be awesome. Yeah. I think that like you said, Remnant, I'm really excited about whenever that DLC comes out and getting back into that game and playing it. Because it's like playing a Souls game but with a couple other people. So that is a ton of fun.
And I will say one thing, because I've said the word community a couple of times tonight. And we have one. Like it's not the biggest, but there are people in this chat right now that were there for Talking Games episode 1 6 years ago and have stayed with us as we've been doing podcasts every week to bi-weekly to back to every week to once a month to wait 2 months have gone by, and we're there have been people that stuck with us for that stuff. And I count them all as friends. And I think it would be a hell of a lot of fun to like sit down and be like, okay, guys, I'm going to make this devilish Mario Maker course that Bobby has to beat
Hmm.
Help me do this.
Yeah.
And like that's something that I want to do.
Yeah, totally. That great. And also, I talked about this in our Discord, but we're gonna try to organize some sort of like I'm gonna try to do it monthly, honestly, but a gaming like community night or whatever community session. I don't know. That'd be at night, but whatever we figure out, maybe a weekend or something like that, where we play a game. We on the Discord we've been talking about a little about Mario Kart, a little bit about like Call of Duty. It's all about like what people
Halo,
have Halo,
Overwatch.
Overwatch. People have access to where we can get, bigger groups in like a battle royale, like a 3 or 4 person squad. We want to be able to get, if 10 people want to play, and I'm not saying 10 people are going to want to play, but if 10 people want to play, I want to be able to get 10 people in there. So I'm excited about doing that as well. But yeah, we've just been, we've been thinking a lot about it and trying to do as much as possible. When this all happened, it was kind of like, okay, I guess we have to like wait and to do any of like the code stuff, but we figured out a way to do it. And now that Justin is getting like his kind of PC house in order, we may rethink like how we're going to do like the Dark Souls stream. I don't know if we'll do like you share play to me and then I stream it out. Maybe you'll just stream it out and we'll do it like, we'll do it like the way that we're doing Bloodborne, but opposite if if the capture card works out, for you. So we'll figure it out as we go along. But yeah, we have the cool thing about it too is that we have like solutions for how we can play games together, right? And that is really neat, I think. And we figured out games that like only one of us is playing that the other person can see it, and we can kind of still stay social on the stream, which is very cool. Don't get me wrong, I do like the streams where I don't have to worry about sharing my screen with Justin so that it's less complicated, but it has been fun to be able to have you watching Bloodborne as I play. It's been cool. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I have some like we talked a lot about like stuff we're gonna play together. I have some ideas, like I said, like kind of like finishing games, like a finish the game feature or something that like I'll do where I'll play through games that I have saves in that I haven't I haven't beat, and the games I want to beat.
Luckily, you have a lot of them.
Oh, I have so many, Justin.
So many.
There are far more games that I have started and not finished than I've never started at all. As far as games I want to play, I mean, though I hold nothing compared to Hugh. Hugh is like the crazy like master of playing an hour of a billion games.
When we sent each other our PlayStation like end of year list, it was like, okay, cool. Like I played like 45 games. You played, I think, like somewhere in the same amount.
It was like 50 or 60.
He was like 89 games.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think it was even more than that. I was like, I don't even know how. Where did you find the time?
It's very, 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 very true. So I'm looking forward. So right now, the leader in the clubhouse for next year and that thing is obviously going to be Apex at the moment for our count. Count. But we'll see how the year goes.
It's going to be Apex because we're gonna keep. Like, I have a feeling we're gonna keep checking in with Apex.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I think, and look, the truth is, and I mean, this is not like to say like, hey, like wink, wink, wink. Give us money or whatever, or help us spread the word. But the more we're going to be, the more, if we start generating viewers, we make our path to affiliate, we're still, I think like 20 followers short of affiliate. And we get affiliate, we can start making subs, you can, I've been sharing a link in the chat where you can tip us, but as soon as, we want to play as much as we possibly can. Obviously when it comes to like work and stuff like that, we have to step back if we have to. There are things that take precedence, family like that, but the more engagement and the more sort of like we're able to grow this thing, I think the more we're going to be able to put into it. So that's going to really help us solidify the streaming schedule, but I can tell you that there are going to be nights we're going to try our best, 100% best to, if we say we're going to stream a night, we're going to stream that night. We're not going to, and if we can't, it's not going to be because we don't want to, it's going to be because something came out that we just couldn't get around. And we will do impromptu streams and unscheduled streams, I think, like we did this week as well. It'd just be like the stream schedule will not get solidified, I think, for a whole week until we're kind of, I think, more into it and going deeper into it and sort of like got our footing a little bit more. But I'm having a great time with it.
Me too.
Hugh, I know you will. He said, I will do everything in my power to help you guys. And I said, I know. But for no other reason than I love you, X. Thank you. Well, we can tell because it's like, I don't know what time, 4 a.m. and you're awake watching
4
us
a.m.
talk.
watching.
I've been playing a game. We're just talking. So I appreciate it very, 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 very much. I hope it's the afternoon. Okay. I hope everybody too. I know that when we did the last podcast, all this was just starting basically, like the lockdowns, the quarantines, here in the States anyway. And we're in going close to 2 months into it now. And I hope everyone is staying sane, staying healthy and really passing the time the best way they can. I know it can be really, really tough. But yeah, it's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. I think it was a few months ago, Justin, we were talking and you were like, man, I don't know if we could get if we just started streaming, I don't know if we could get 3 people in the chat or whatever, at the same time. And I think for the last couple weeks, we've been consistently hitting a pretty good number for us, definitely. And it's just been really heartening and really cool to see. So I echo Justin in saying thank you to everybody for that. It's been really amazing.
100%.
Time is a flat circle. It's true, Mark. And he says it's 2020. Time doesn't matter. So yes, absolutely.
Also true.
Also very, very true. So yeah, I think was it next week the Xbox thing is happening? May 7th?
May 7th, yeah.
May 7th. So if everything stays the way it is right now, I think it's at 10 o'clock Pacific time, I think, or something like that. I think the thing is, I don't remember exactly what the time was, but it's Inside Xbox thing where they're going to reveal gameplay and stuff about the Xbox One X, Xbox Series X. And so I think I might do a talk over the presentation thing because I'll be working from home anyway, so I'll be able to do that. So look for that. Look for stuff about that. I think tomorrow at some point I'm going to do a farming hangout stream for Bloodborne. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow night or it'll be tomorrow afternoon. I'll have to figure out when my time gaps are. But yeah, definitely do that. And then I'm sure we'll do a multiplayer thing over the weekend for sure. Something. Friday is usually a I don't know if we're playing anything tonight kind of day. So that's tomorrow. So I'll have to try to do Bloodborne. And then Justin and I will talk and figure out when we're going to each have probably our date night with our wives over the weekend. And then
hang out with my kids.
Yeah, the night that we're not doing that, we will stream something. That's the plan. 11 a.m. Eastern, really, Hugh? I thought it was 11 a.m. Pacific, but I guess I'm wrong. Anyway, whenever that is, I'll put it up. I'll tweet about it and we'll put it out. So yeah, that's gonna do it, I think. Justin, do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight? I forgot. No?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay.
Just happy to be doing this.
Yeah, me too. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for the monthly reset podcast. Max has no idea what EST and PST means. Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time, they're the time zones in America. I mean, the 2 major time zones, and then there's the Central and the Mountain Time Zone, correct? There's 4, right? Right?
Time is a flat circle. Wise man said that. One of them in the chat did.
One of the wise men said that. Okay, thank you, Mark. Yes, there's 4. Thank you, Kelsey. So that's going to do it for the Monthly Reset podcast this week. Please follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Monthly Reset. Check out our YouTube channel. I put up, archives of the Bloodborne streams, and any streams we do will go up there. You'll also be able to see the archive of this video version of this podcast up there as well on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at Monthly Reset. I changed the Instagram to Monthly Reset. It's not Monthly Reset podcast anymore.
Oh, thank God.
So it's Monthly Reset on Instagram as well. Follow us there. Hugh, are you streaming today? Tomorrow?
Today for him, tomorrow for us.
Yes. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Twitch.tv/deadbeatgamers. Correct, Hugh? What time are you doing that? It is red. Thank you, Mark. I knew that's why I did it, because I know Mark was in the chat. Tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. your time? UK time. Okay, 12:30 p.m. UK time. Use a time adjuster for that. to know when that is in your time zone. But check them out. They're awesome. Hugh and his buddy Ori, they're great. What are you streaming tomorrow, Hugh? Overwatch? 7:30 a.m. Eastern. So get up bright and early.
Also,
Overwatch.
Cody has been streaming as well.
Oh
Cody,
yeah,
put
Cody.
Cody,
Yeah,
put your Twitch in the chat.
yeah. Comment but Cody, right on Twitch. Oh, it's Hugh's perspective. Oh, and I'm not tuning in then for that one. Would be right when I'm going to sleep probably, considering my medication. Yeah, comment but Cody on Twitch. Check him out as well. We do all love that toxic PC gamer comic book Cody, Mark. That is correct. So check all that out. We'll be back again next month on their podcast, but we will be streaming again, like I said, probably tomorrow. So check that out. But until next time.
Wait, we're going to do this a little differently.
Why? What are we doing?
Thank you, Hugh. Yeah, that literally has to type it.
No.
Hugh, you better thank the right person. Hugh says, thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Kelsey knows.
Kelsey said, thank you, Justin.
To everybody. Yes. Thank everybody for listening.
Until next time. Are you going to let me do it? I don't know. Justin, you threw me all off. You took my part.
I know. I have the power. Until next time. Be good to one another.